Hi guys, this is the page that you are gonna do. Before we start with this exercise, let's just remember something. I want you to remember that, for example, 20 over 100 is not the same as 2 over 100. Remember when we saw the class about the yesterday class about the grades that you had a chart and it was divided into 100 squares? For example, if it was 20, I will paint 20, of course. If it was 2, I would just only paint 2. So you may see the difference between 20 over 100 and 2 over 100. If I tell you to convert this into a decimal, it will be 0.20. And if I tell you to convert this into a decimal, it will be 0.0 and 2. This is the exercise that you did yesterday, remember, right? So it will be 20% and 2%. Having that in mind, I guess you won't have, sorry, I wanted to raise and I didn't do it. Now, you gotta keep that in mind for the exercise that you're gonna see. So, it says, the first exercise says, no, let's start with the second one because it's the easiest one. It tells you write each percent as a fraction and as a decimal. You won't have a hard time because it is simple. We saw that yesterday. For example, number 10, it says change 2% into a fraction. It's just what we did a moment ago. So it will be 2 over or out of 100. That will be a fraction. You can simplify it if you want to. If you simplify it, it will be 1 over 50. If you want to simplify it, do it. If you don't want to simplify it, then skip it. Because the instructions don't say simplify. Then, that is as a fraction, now as a decimal. If I change 2% as a decimal, it will be 0.0 and 2, right? The same for all the other ones. That is what you gotta do in the second exercise. It will be easy. Fraction and then decimal. Now, what I want you to pay more attention is exercise number 1. It says convert into a percent. You won't have a problem working with 1, 2, oh gosh, that's too big. You won't have a hard time working with those. Wait. With this, because you know how to change 0.42 into a percent. This 2. This is simple. This is like yesterday's activity. 1 out of 10. Wait, that one no. And this one. All those 4 are simple to be converted into a percent. But let's pay attention and work together to solve 3, 4, 6, and 7. Even though I'm gonna give you the answers, that's not the point. The point is that you pay attention, okay? So let's pay attention to this one. It says that I need to change 7 over 10 into a percent. And I know the easy way will be to make this fraction equal to 100, ¿ok? Necesito convertirla y que sea equivalente a un número sobre 100. So, if I want to multiply 10 by another number to make it 100, then I know that if I multiply 10 times 10, it gives me 100. Remember, that's our goal. Our goal is to change that fraction into an equivalent fraction in which the denominator is 100. So 10 times 10 will be 100. That is our main goal, to convert this fraction into one fraction like this one. So if I multiply this number by 10, that means I gotta multiply the upper number by 10 too. So 7 times 10 will be 70. Now that I got that, I can see right away that I can convert this easily into 70%. And then you're done, okay? If one of you could have done it without doing all this process, that's perfect, because that means you're using your logic and basic math or mental math. Now, problem number, let's see, problem number 4, okay? It is 90 out of 300. Can you tell me, well, you cannot, but can you remember the main goal that I mentioned a moment ago? My main goal was to convert this fraction into a fraction like this one, in which the denominator is 100. So, I don't need to multiply 300 by another number to make it 100. I need to divide it in order to make it equivalent to this fraction. So, 300 by what gives me 100? By 3. So 300 divided by 3, of course, gives me 100. That's good. Now, 90 divided by 3 gives me 30. So as I divided this by 3, the answer must be here. Now that I know that 90 over 300 is equivalent to 3 over 100, I can convert it easily into a into a percent, and it will be 30%. So we're having the answers for this 70. Even though I am doing it with you, please think on what we're doing, okay? This is 30%. Now, let's erase this. And let's continue with number 6, sorry. It says 1 out of 10. If I represent that as a fraction, it will be 1 out of 10. But again, the main goal, whenever we do that, is to convert that fraction into an equivalent fraction that has a 100 as a denominator. So again, 10 times 10 give me 100, and 1 times 10, 1 times 10, sorry, well, this is a 10, okay? 1 times 10 gives me 10. So now I can easily convert that into a percentage. It will be 10%. 10%. And last one, but not less important, this one. It says 3 out of 5. So I need to change that into a fraction, and I know that I need to look for a number that I can multiply 5 by and get 100. If you cannot think of the number right away, what you can do is the following. This is like a hack or a tip. Divide 100 by 5 and it gives you 20, okay? So 5 times 20 gives me 100. That means I gotta multiply 3 by 20. So 3 times 20 is 60. And now I can do it. I know this can be easily changed to, 60%. And then you're done. 60%. It is important that you don't take for granted this that we're doing. Even though, like I said, I gave you the answer, it doesn't mean you don't have the need or the responsibility of learning this. You need to learn what I just explained. This was done by division. This was done by multiplying 10 times 10. This was done multiplying 10 times 10. And this one, we're going to work a lot in 7th grade, 8th grade, 9th grade with fractions like 5 over 3. And you're going to have to do that. Now, for all the ones that actually watch the video, I'm going to give you a hack for that one. 3 over 5. If you don't want to do all this whole process and you don't want to make this fraction equivalent to another fraction, and you want to do it right away, what you can do is, well, first, if you remember, this is a hack that I taught you a long time ago. But if you don't remember, what you can do is trying to convert that into a decimal. And how do you do it? Dividing 3 it goes inside the division, and 5 goes outside. So if I do this, let's do it. Point, and then I add a 0. So how many times does 5 fit in 30? 6. It gives me 0.6 or 0.60, which is the same. And if you are able to connect this result to this result, you see that we got the same. 0.60 can easily be changed into 60%. This is a hack, okay? If you didn't understand, well, watch it again. But also don't worry, because you know how to do it the other way. If you don't want to have a hard time and you want to do it easily, what you can do, well, not easily, let's call it better or efficient, in an efficient way. What you can do is divide from the beginning. This number goes inside, this number goes outside of the division, and then you get the same result, and you convert that into a percent. You could have done the same with this one. For example, let's do that one. I'm sorry, I'm just making drawings anywhere. 7 goes inside and 10. Let's see if we get the same result. It is 70%. Of course, we're gonna get it, but anyway, we're gonna check it. So point and 0, how many times does 10 fit in 77? So my answer is 0.7 or 0.70, and that is the same. You see, that is a hack. I miss you guys. I wish I could teach all this in the classroom, but I hope to see you soon. Bye, guys. Wait, one more thing. I already said bye, but don't worry. This is the word problem. It says that 28 hundredths of the Smith income is used to pay the rent. What percent of their income is spent on rent? You need to write this as a decimal, 28 hundredths. Okay, remember how to write decimals. Point, blah, 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 or blah, blah, blah. Well, no, or no those decimals, but okay. You write that as a decimal, and then you change that into a percent, and that will be the answer. Now, bye.